Let's talk about New Balance. The brand has been known historically for its heritage running shoes or dad shoes, but they've been doing a lot of experimentation lately with new sneaker models, and they just dropped one of their most futuristic looking shoes in a long time. In this video, I'll be telling you everything you need to know about the New Balance ABZORB 2000. So these officially released on June the 10th worldwide. This is the original colorway to drop, this baby blue color, which is officially being called Blue Agate. And the retail price on this was $170 or 200 euros. I wasn't expecting that rather steep price tag because it is a lot for a non-made in USA New Balance shoe. And the price makes it one of the more expensive offerings from the brand. It's more expensive than the 9060s, the 1000s, and also the recently released 2010s, even though all three of those shoes also feature the same technology that this pair uses, which is the ABZORB cushioning. But let's get to it. Right out the box, the first thing I notice is this shoe really stands out. It doesn't look like anything that the brand has done before. It is an evolution of some of the brand's early 2000s runners, and it's a pretty big step forward in terms of design. You really get this very futuristic looking, very techie inspired looking shoe. And it was designed by Charlotte Lee, who is one of the head designers over at New Balance, and she is also responsible for designing the 327s, the XC72s, and one of my favorite models, which is the 1906L sneaker loafers. And I read in a recent interview she did talking about the design process behind the shoe. It is supposed to represent what New Balance ABZORB shoes could have looked like had there been no restrictions in terms of tooling and materials in the early 2000s. And she really wanted the shoes to look and feel like a Y2K era shoe. Back then, a lot of products on the market had this very semi-transparent plastic, bright colors, and rounded edges to try to appear futuristic, which is what this shoe does as well. The upper of this shoe is made out of mesh, and it's a more thicker mesh than you typically see on New Balance shoes. It's a no-sew mesh, which means that the mesh was joined together without using your traditional stitching methods that you see on the 900 series or the 574s. And the rest of these design elements that you see all on the upper, that's actually just been screen printed onto these plastic overlays. When I showed this shoe on my Instagram, a lot of you guys were telling me that the shoe does look a bit cheap, and I think that mainly has to do with this screen printed upper. I'm not gonna lie, it does kind of give off that feeling. You have that N logo right in the middle of the shoe, which this time looks like it's been given more of a modern look. You have the New Balance logo on the tongue as well, and it also says 2000 on there, and the last bit of branding can be seen on the heel of the shoe. And moving down to the midsole, which is arguably the most interesting part about this sneaker, here you get not only New Balance ABZORB cushioning, but also ABZORB SBS, which are these visible pods or bumps that you see on the midsole. And ABZORB SBS is supposed to give you better shock absorption and also more responsiveness, similar to Nike Shox technology, and it also kind of looks like Nike Shox. Right in the middle, you get this stability web shank plate, which gives you a bit of extra support. And I have to say, it also has a very grippy outsole. There's a lot of rubber on this outsole. We've also seen New Balance use this ABZORB SBS technology on some other models like the 9060s, for example. But this is just my opinion. Just in terms of looks, I do like the way that this shoe looks more than the 9060s. I could never really get over that gap right in the middle of the midsole on that pair. And also in terms of overall bulkiness, this shoe just looks a lot less bulkier than the 9060s. Especially in bigger sizes, I felt like the 9060s just look huge on feet. But this one not so much, is more of a streamlined silhouette. And when it comes to comfort, I wouldn't say it's anything mind-blowing. It's pretty good for a New Balance shoe. I don't notice it being very different than a 9060 or the 2010s even, which I reviewed recently. It does feel maybe a bit more responsive, a bit more bouncy, and it's also surprisingly a pretty light sneaker. When it came to sizing, I got this in my true size, and for me, it's the perfect fit. I'm not getting any heel slippage, and in terms of width, it's perfect. I will say that it does feel slightly more narrow than, for example, a made in USA sneaker sneaker. I know some people like to go a half size down in New Balance. I think if you had narrow feet, you might still get away with going a half size down in this pair, so definitely try it out in store. But my recommended size is go with whatever your normal New Balance size is. So if that's true to size, go true to size. I personally wear true to size in all of the 900 series shoes, the 2002 Rs, the 1906 Rs, and that's what I'm wearing in this pair as well, and it fits good. It doesn't feel as narrow as the 2010s. I know when I reviewed that shoe, I said that the sizing on it was just kind of out of whack because it felt too narrow in the toe box area. This shoe, however, the sizing is way better. So definitely out of those two recently released models, the 2010s and this pair, I would rank this one higher, not only because it looks different and it looks better in my opinion, but also the sizing on this pair is just a lot better. It feels better on feet. And because these shoes aren't too bulky, I think they look great with shorts as well. So here I just kind of wore them with a very simple summertime outfit, a button-up short sleeve shirt with some denim shorts. And the shoes look great. The shoes look very, very good with shorts, making these a great option for the summertime. I do overall really like the shoe, guys. I like it a lot better in hand than I expected, because when I first saw pictures of these, I thought they looked kind of too out there. But some of the things I appreciate about this shoe is that I do think it looks really good from every angle, no matter how you look at it. The medial side, the lateral side, it looks great, but I especially also like how it looks from the top down. All of those different curvy lines that have been printed on to the upper makes the shoe very interesting to look at. I think it's the type of shoe that's definitely going to get you some compliments, even though it's not like a collab shoe or anything. I also really do like this OG colorway, the baby blue. It does actually look like a collab. It doesn't look like a GR colorway. But if this is a bit too much for you, there's a lot of colors that we've already seen pictures of. There's some very neutral pairs, like a black one, a white one, and a gray one. I'm a bit more interested in some of the vibrant colorways. I saw this pink one, which looked pretty sick, and also some other pairs that have more of this gradient color scheme. I'm also excited to see some high profile collabs on this sneaker. I'm sure we're gonna get some. In terms of recent new models from the brand, for me, this is one of the best new models that New Balance has put out. The biggest negative for me on this shoe is the price. I do think it's very expensive, especially considering you're just getting ABZORB technology. It's the same technology as most of the other inline models. So maybe this is a pair you're gonna wait for to get on sale. But I think New Balance did a very good job designing these. So yeah, overall, these are great. Do let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about this pair? Were you excited to grab one? Or are you waiting for some of the other colorways? And once again, thank you so much for stopping by on the channel and supporting my content. Make sure you're following me on Instagram because I'm dropping content on there pretty much daily on my stories. And make sure you are, of course, subscribed to this channel to keep it locked to all of my future videos. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.